can't wait, you know. So that is my advice to my brothers and sisters and to myself. Another beautiful hadith mentions the seven who will be under the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment. And one of them is one whose heart is attached to the masjid. And if you think about that day, or that, not day, but the time that we will be on accountable state, the time will be in the day of judgment, which is going to be a long day. It's going to be hot. People will be up to their necks in sweat. And there will be a group of people that are going to be under the shade of the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one of them is the one whose heart is attached to the masjid. So you don't have to, this is not one of those hadiths where you have to have all 7 or 6 out of 7 or 4 out of 7. You can, and the more you have, the better it is. A just ruler, a youth who's spent his life in the worship, they are definitely, but this one thing everybody can partake in. This one aspect means if only one thing you can get from this khutbah is you can be under the shade of Allah on that difficult day, which is 500 years long. I don't know, Allah knows how long it is. And you can be under the shade, and you probably won't be sweating, and you'll be in the cool shade under the throne of Allah. So we can attach our hearts to the masjid. And what does that mean? It means that when we come to the masjid for Fajr, we're just can't wait to get back to the masjid for the next salah. And if we do the Dhuhr salah, we can't wait to get back to the next salah. But sometimes our work comes in the way, and I understand that. But your heart should be yearning. At least you should be yearning to go back to the masjid. You should feel a pain and an ache in your heart when you can't get back to the masjid. When sometimes you go on vacation and there are no massages over there. 3, 4, 5, 6 days go by and you haven't entered the masjid. You're aching. You say, Ya Allah, 5 days, 1 week has gone by, I've never seen a masjid. So you should be one of those people who really are desperate and keen to pray at least one prayer, if not more. Our jobs sometimes are like that. We can pray 5 prayers a day. Of course, I understand that. On weekends, if your masjid is close by, we should try to pray as much as we can at the masjid. And you know the hadith about the virtues of going to the masjid, especially for the Fajr prayer. The hadith elaborates saying that if you knew the reward of going to the masjid for Fajr, you would go even if you had to crawl there. It's so much pleasure of going to the masjid for Fajr prayer. But all the salahs. But if you pray the Fajr and the Isha, that is the highly recommended for us in the West. We should at least try to do Fajr and Isha in the masjid. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم في كل كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله على فضله وإحسانه واشكره على توفيقه وامتنانه واشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له واشهد ان محمدا عبده ورسوله. Very briefly, in the next 7 minutes, I want to talk about the etiquette of the masjid. These are things we all are familiar with, but sometimes we forget. A masjid is a place where we all come for tranquility, for peace, for worship. And one of the important things for us to be conscious about when we come, obviously, is not to disturb our brothers and sisters. We talked about coming for purely for the sake of Allah, and we all do that. We don't come here for business. But when we come here and we start disturbing other people, or we park in a way outside that blocks other people, and they have to leave early, that's all very negative, and it all counts against you. And so be careful that you come to the masjid, you end up not reaping the benefit and start taking some sin with you. So be careful about the parking when you come. Please be very, very mindful about not double parking and blocking people, because that is disturbing people. Our job in our life is, as a mu'min and a believer, is to improve the life to help others, to facilitate others, to make it easy for others, not to disturb and make it difficult for others. So that's the parking. So when you come to the masjid, you should come to the front first, because the maximum reward for men is in the front row and for women in the last row. So come to the front. Don't sit in the back, because there's a hadith about the reward of sitting in the front, and you really knew it, and you do know it. The reward is huge. So, if it's an open masjid, don't sit in the back unless you have a reason. Sit in the front, try to fill the front rows first, and then, second and the third and fourth. Come in quietly, silence your phone, or please, if you can, unless you have a really pressing reason to bring your phone with you, I tell my son, no phone in the masjid. So, try not to bring your phone into the masjid. When you bring the phone into the masjid and you're praying and you're in sujood and the music goes off, think about it. I don't know what the consequences will be, between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it's probably not very positive. It's probably not very good. And there's a verse being recited which is deep about the hellfire, and then you've got tunes going right and left. So, try to not bring your phone, and if you bring your phone, please turn it off. And you have to have a really good reason to bring it. Secondly, pray in a way that it doesn't disturb your brother or sister. And there are people praying right next to you, and there's different things, but just pray in a way. Don't pray loudly that if the other person is praying. Yes, you're supposed to pray so that you can hear your own sound, but do that at home. Some people, they pray so loudly in the masjid that you're trying to pray and you can't even concentrate on your own salah. Come to the masjid, again, don't be smelling poorly. Be dressed in the most beautiful attire. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Araf, verse 31, children of Adam, wear your nice dress at every place of prayer, every masjid. Eat and drink and do not waste and not be extravagant. Indeed, Allah does not love the wasteful. So, it's a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to dress beautifully. So please don't wear shabby clothes or torn clothes or dirty clothes into the masjid. Wear beautiful clothes. Adorn yourself in the best possible way. Put some for fragrance when you come to the masjid. Be clean when you come to the masjid. Don't be smelling. Brush your teeth when you come to the masjid. And then don't disturb your brothers and sisters. Even when you're reading the Quran, and the masjid is the place to recite it. To sit there and read the Quran. Do not read the Quran in a loud voice so that people right next to you are disturbed. They can't read because you're reading so loud. It's great to read it loud at home. Do it at home. Read all day at home. 6 hours if you want. When you come to the masjid, unless it's empty, unless there's nobody there, you find a corner, you can read in a way that you enjoy it, you're reciting it. But when people are next to you and it's a crowded masjid, do not read your Quran out loud, such that the other person can't enjoy whatever he's doing, his zikr or his own recitation of the Quran. A masjid should be a place where the youth should be welcome. We should have youth activities in the masjid where they come and they learn about the deen, and there should be halaqas. We should try our best to encourage our youth to come to the masjid and hold halaqas. This is not the only masjid, of course, you go to, but it's so important that we take care of our youth and have activities that really attract the youth. So, having a gym that pulls the kids there, having other activities, having a really dynamic imam just for the youth or for both. Your imam should be dynamic and should be attracting the youth to the masjid. And so you should try to have halaqah for adults, halaqahs for students, halaqahs for children, halaqahs of Quran, halaqahs of hadith. This is what the masjid is for. So, I wanted to, and in the interest of time, I'm done. I wanted to just give you a synopsis of what I put together for this khutbah. This is a beautiful month, the month of Ramadan. People are just flocking to the masjid for Tarawih, and the parking lots are full, and the masjids are full, especially at night. But then, when Ramadan leaves us in about 15 days or so, the parking lots will start getting empty, and the masjids will start getting empty. And the same thing that brought you here during Ramadan, which is the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, prostration in front of Lord Allah Most High, should also bring you in other years, on other months of the year. The reward coming to the masjid doesn't diminish in months outside Ramadan. We should really try to connect our hearts to the masjid and try our level best that if we can come to the masjid during these 30 days for Tarawih, for our Ishas, we should also try to continue that throughout the year. May Allah make it easy for us to come to the masajid. May Allah make the masjid our homes. May Allah shade us under His throne through our hearts being connected to the masajid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. One announcement: Fitra is $10 per person in each family member. Please try to fulfill that well before the end of this blessed month.